Republicans, do this one thing, get people high paying jobs. And it's like he's doing the stuff. He's just not talking about it right. Who's better than Vance? Any suggestions? Well, we're going to talk about that like literally right now. But I prepared two different clips. Wanted to show people kind of like Trump and a Vance take on where we're at right now. Because there was a dog and pony show today, basically, is what this was.
And they virtually brought it down to the lowest level, I believe, in history. And didn't have much of an impact because the prices were very high. But our prices now for energy, but for gasoline are really low. Electricity's coming down. And when that comes down, everything comes down. But the word affordability is a Democrat scam. They say it, and then they go into the next subject. And everyone thinks, oh, they had lower prices. No, they had the worst inflation in the history of our country. Now, some people will correct me, because they always love to correct me.
Definitely correct you.
Even though I'm right about everything.
You're not right.
But some people like to correct me, and they say 48 years. I say it's not 48 years, it's much more. But they say it's the worst inflation that we've had in 48 years. I say ever. But whether it's 48 years or ever, it's pretty bad. We had the worst inflation that we've ever had.
People know that, but they wanted a solution. And stopping inflation does not solve their problem. And he's calling that a scam. Like he's literally trying to brute force people into all of a sudden believing that they can afford the American dream.
Since last January, we've stopped inflation in its tracks.
Yeah.
And there's still more to do. There's always more to do, but we have it down to a very good level. It's going to go down a little bit further. You want to have a little tiny bit of inflation. Otherwise, that's not good either. Then you have a thing called deflation. And deflation can be worse than inflation.
So arguably deflation is better for lower class people who depend on an income and don't have assets. And yes, it could be unstable for the economy and for businesses, especially big businesses, especially banking. But those are the people advising Trump. And so automatically deflation is off the board. And maybe it's dumb. Maybe it's stupid to try to have deflation in the economy. But that's what people think they're getting. They think that prices are going to go down appreciably. That's what they thought, in my opinion, a golden age was. And they're not going to. And so when Trump talks about gas prices and eggs and turkey, it's not the entire blended basket of everything that's gone up. People's rents have gone up. People's health insurance has gone up. Literally every service has gone up. The cost of supply chains has gone up. Like every single cost has gone up. And what he's saying is that, no, we can't give you deflation. My economic advisors who are billionaires tell me that's bad. So instead, the golden age is already here. It's not good enough.
But we have it almost, we'll soon be at a perfect level, but we inherited the worst inflation. But we have 20 states that are now selling gasoline at less than the $2.75.
It's probably turkey.
Think of that, $2.75. And it was at $5 under Sleepy Joe. Grocery prices are down with the cost of Thanksgiving turkey this year down 33%. It was lower than 33% lower than under the Biden administration. Egg prices are way down 86%. Thank you.
Gas is 2% of your average American's income. Eggs has got to be 0.02% of your average American's income. They're paying $5,000 for rent. Like, you know what I mean? It's to buy private health insurance that's mandated under the Obamacare if you don't get subsidies is like $1,500 to $2,000 a month for some people. Like everything is ridiculously expensive. And so again, I think he's trying to like brute force. He's trying to declare a victory lap. And I will say the rest of the cabinet did a lot better. I think the standouts were the Department of Labor lady who talked about Project Firewall, which is really, really great. 200 investigations into H-1B abuse, and talking about how these companies have suppressed wages. So people in his cabinet get it. They absolutely get it. Scott Bessent, Lutnick, I think, really good stuff. And it's like this, You know, and what was wild too is that he had this big announcement today. It could have been anything. It could have been, we finally have the Dominion machines. You know what I mean? It could have been that. It could have been, we finally have peace with Ukraine and Russia. We can stop sending them billions of dollars so the oligarchs over there can just steal Americans' taxpayer money. But instead, it was, God bless him, Michael Dell and his wife talking about how they're setting up like a banking account for all of the kids in America or something, and there's going to be money in it. And it's just like the $2,000 tariff check. It's like, let them eat cake. I know the intention's great, and I know it means something for people, for a lot of people, but it seems like a cheap substitute when you promise a golden age to give like your Gen Alpha toddler an account that's not going to help them for 20 years. You know, like, it's just like, people just want jobs, higher wages, a booming labor market. He talks about all these trillions. We could go on. I want to shift over to Vance. Well, we could go on here, but he talks about all of these investments and how they're going to come over to America. But it's all blue collar jobs, and blue collar jobs are good 100%. But it seems like there are limiters. Like, he's not allowed to talk about the white collar jobs. Like, he doesn't understand the implications of Project Firewall that is coming out of his own administration. And the fact that a high paying salary is probably the number one thing that converts people into being a conservative voter. You know what I mean? It's like, Republicans do this one thing, get people high paying jobs. And it's like, he's doing the stuff. He's just not talking about it right. And my advice was, listen, every single thing out of your mouth needs to be framed at these 3 points. One is doing everything to raise wages, get people money, put money back in their pocketbooks. A lot of the stuff he's doing will do that. The legal immigration, the H-1Bs, punishing corporations for DEI, like, all this stuff will do that, bringing investments over. But instead, it's like, oh, isn't it this cool? I'm talking to a trillionaire at the head of Intel, and we did some deal, and it will help Americans. But Americans look at that, in my opinion, and it looks like oligarchy stuff. It looks like, wow, Trump really loves talking to billionaire CEOs, making deals with billionaire companies, and the corporations who we don't trust. Most people don't trust corporations. It's like 70%, 80% of them think big tech is running wild and basically abusing their power. So Trump is making deals with these companies, but these companies to Americans are not the good guy. And so the optics. The other is brutal reform for the American people, so they can restore trust in the institutions. I don't know if you saw it. There was a fight between Miranda Devine and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino that looks really horrible. And she's right to do that report, because they have not visibly restored trust in those agencies, or any other for that matter. And this was my advice to Donald Trump, is that in order to restore trust in these institutions, it has to be a very brutal and visible process. And so people will look at this and say, I just don't believe what the head of DHS is telling me. I don't believe what's coming out of the Secretary of Treasury. A lot of the people on the right will look at this and like it, but your independent swing voters who don't trust a Republican as far as they can throw them, and agree that the swamp needs to be drained, and think that there's a significant amount of waste, fraud, and abuse in the government, there has not been a restoration of trust in the institutions. Just changing the leadership's not enough. And then, like, the third advice was like, smash the oligarchy, don't be the oligarchy. And again, I think a lot of this stuff looks like oligarchy stuff. So here's Vance. Let's see what he's got to say.
Thank you very much. Mr. Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's an honor to serve with this great team that you've assembled. And I just want to pick up on something you said, Mr. President, because you hit the nail on the head, that it is absurd that Democrats talk about an affordability crisis that they created and the people around this table work every single day to address. You'll hear a lot of statistics today.
That's good. That's important. Already, there's a little bit of nuance that's different here. We're all working on this problem. This is the problem, this affordability problem, and the Democrats caused it. Like, he's going to hammer this.
There are a lot of statistics in our political conversation. I think the most important statistic for the American people is that under the Biden administration, the average American family lost over $3,000 of household income. And under the first 10 months of this Trump administration, they have gained over $1,000 of household income. What that's
This is good. This needs to be on everything they put out. He made it much more root cause and corrective action. Not, we lowered your turkey price, but you can't afford to buy a house to put the turkey in. It's like, no, your wages did get worse under Biden, and we have made them better already. Vote for more wages. Like that's what's going on here.
Says very clearly is that we are fixing the problem that Joe Biden and the Democrats created in the last administration. If you look at every affordability crisis that's confronting the American people today, it is traceable directly to a problem caused by Joe Biden and congressional Democrats. Why did homes get so unaffordable? Because we had 20 million illegal aliens in this country taking homes that ought by right to go to American citizens.
He just squared the circle. He said, you can't afford a house because the illegal aliens took your house, and we're getting rid of the illegal aliens. Like, that's powerful. This level of like internal consistency was not present in Donald Trump's.
Why did tax bills get so unaffordable? Because Democrats were raising taxes while congressional Republicans under the president's leadership, we're now cutting taxes. Why did food get so expensive? Because we printed trillions of dollars and threw it into green scams that made our agricultural economy
big, expensive government spending, green scams, bad.
Suffer while Americans were paying higher prices for food. On every single one of those issues, Mr. President, I think we've made incredible progress. But it would be preposterous to fix every problem caused over the last 4 years in just 10 months. I think we've done incredibly good. But what I see over the next year, and you heard Brooke talk about joy and gratitude. What I really think this season represents for me, and I think for the entire administration, is that we have now done incredible work to fix what Joe Biden broke. And I think that next year in American growth and American prosperity could be the best year that we've had in the United States of America. It's going to happen because we're all working hard. It's going to happen because we have.
So he put goalposts in place. Look, we did a lot. Look to next year, and we think that it'll be good. And, you know, again, I think it's like lay out the 3-year plan. You know, this is what we're going to do. This is what Republicans mean. And the Republican legislature is joining us unified on this. Like, if you want this, can't just vote for Trump. You got to vote for Republicans too. And if you want it to continue, you got to vote for more of it. But again, he's saying that this is who we are and what we stand for. He's actually offering a solution here, a solution. And he's also painting the other side of this. This is what Democrats stand for. And he's not using words like socialism. He's like showing to obviously like provable things that they did, creating a contrast between a conservative approach to economic populism. This is what I said that they needed to do.
The greatest country in the world. But I think for congressional Democrats in particular, if they want to talk about affordability, they ought to look in the mirror. We are fixing what they're broken. We're proud to do it. It's the job that we were elected to do. But I think 2026 is going to be the year where this economy really takes off.
Now, I mean, if it doesn't, like that's a problem though. But we're going to look at polling because I think people are starting to appreciate this kind of sophisticated, like, is it though? It's like focus. It's focused is the right word.